Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle Stimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. I'm so glad to have you here with me today. If you are new here, welcome in. Returning, welcome back. And if you're watching this on the replay, you're going to have just as much fun and healing as if you were here live. If you would like to join us live, go ahead and check out that description box below for all the regular days and times that I stream here on YouTube. Or you can go ahead and click the subscribe button with your notifications on so you never miss a chance. And if you are here live, go ahead and click on that live chat button. Feel free to ask for any specific or general attention to healing, setting any healing intentions at all. We're going to start things off by building a beautiful crystal grid to support all of the healing requests of everyone here today. And then we will go into the healing where I will turn the lights down, turn the music up, and send healing to you whenever and wherever you happen to be. If you're watching this on the replay and you want to skip ahead to the healing, go to about the 45-minute to 1 hour mark, or where you see the lights begin to dip down, and then you will be able to just enjoy the music and the energy. For those of you who are here live or watching on the recording, if you want to learn more about my live online Reiki certification courses, community Discord, crystal shop, or social media, all of that is linked in the description below. Thanks again so much for being here. And my website is learnreikiphiladelphia.com. So without any further ado, let's dive in, say hi to everyone. I've got our crystal grid ready and started off. I picked a few stones that have been coming up quite a bit for us, and I've started those as kind of an anchor point for our grid, and then we'll dive right into it. Awesome. So we have nice group of people today. We've got Grace, we've got Joyce. Good to see you both back. Linda, welcome. Maury, Susan, and Greg, hello to you both. Ashley, hello. Sasha, oh, welcome. So I'm going to just walk you through the first couple of stones that we have, and if you're setting any intentions for healing, if you have a specific stone in mind, that's fine, or you can let me pick for you, or a little bit of both. So right now we've got, let's see. Oh, my cats, in case you can hear them purring. We've got, let's see, Gertie is deciding whether or not she wants to be on my lap for community distance Reiki. So we've got, let's see if I can. We've been having some lighting issues lately. I think I need to redo my lighting grid. There we go. That helps a little bit. So we have in the center there, oh, that helps a lot. We have in the center here, we have some nephrite jade. That's an absolute all-around blessing for everything. Good fortune, for family, for romance, for work, for community. It's just all abundant good things. We're also coming into the Lunar New Year, and this is definitely aligned with the Lunar New Year. So happy Lunar New Year to all of those of you who celebrate. We've also got some copper here. Copper helps to break up energy blockages, get the energy flowing, especially Reiki energy. We have some pyrite, which helps with intuition as well as protection. It's excellent on calling in abundance as well, and it can be wonderful for the memory as well as the lungs and fever. Speaking of bringing in the abundance, we have some citrine. This is fantastic for calling in financial abundance as well as balancing logic and intuition. We have some moss agate. This is infections and illness of all varieties, whether it's bacterial, viral, what have you. It's thought to help support the body to kind of clear it out. Of course, none of the crystals we have here are meant to be a replacement for anything like that, but complementary stuff certainly can't hurt, certainly can't help in this regard. Energy medicine can really just support over a distance. So this also is very helpful on a mental, emotional, and kind of spiritual level for healing past wounds, especially childhood and even inner child type work. It's great for any unconditional love that you want to recalibrate yourself to accepting, as well as connection to spirit. This also helps with fear of the unknown. And last but not least, starting off with some pink tourmaline. Pink tourmaline is fantastic for everything from migraines to neuralgia to GYN complaints on all levels. But for the spiritual and emotional benefits, we've got that it helps with mom and baby bonding. Also, if you are healing any kind of childhood wounds, this can be a good complement to any kind of work that you're doing on that. We've also got that it's helpful for muscle weakness, onset of puberty, and dispelling any kind of negative self-image. So we'll bring this in. So that's what we're starting off with. I think all of these can be really helpful. Let's see what other requests we have. Great minds think alike, Joyce. Yep, pink tourmaline. I can add some more too. There's not any more here. I might add some more a little later. Let's see. Yeah, I usually like to let people know there's a lot of pink tourmaline on the market right now. So it used to be like I had to get little tiny pieces like this from way back when, where now you can find quite a bit where it's actually just in quartz, and it is sold under pink tourmaline as well as rubellite, R-U-B, rubellite. This is an example of a polished specimen that has some rubellite. The only pink tourmaline are the pink parts. The rest is quartz and other kinds of stone. And that's always on the altar behind me. And this is another example of pink tourmaline in quartz. So you will, if you're looking for pink tourmaline, you'll probably see a lot of specimens like this. This one here has some rust on it. It was probably near some iron in the ground. So yeah, but just to give you an idea what it looks like. So we might work some in a little later. It's a wonderful healing stone. So let's see. Oh yeah, definitely make sure you have water or beverage handy. I have my herbal tea. I've been like loving Tulsi tea right now. Yeah, that cluster, very lucky. A stone dealer I work with was like, hey, I have some of these. Yes, as far as I'm aware, they're very similar, if not the same exact stone. In fact, when I first started seeing it as rubellite, it was usually higher end pink tourmaline. And I say, kind of depends, is it the same stone? I had my healing practice when it was a brick and mortar. I had it on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia for quite some time. And I'm used to working with people in the jewelry industry who are gemologists a lot of times, and they really know their stones, like the legitimacy of the stone, the name matters. Whereas in the crystal healing world, a lot of times the energy of a stone might be different based on where it's mined from, where the actual crystal itself is the same. Is just one example. But in the crystal healing type world, things can have one name, whereas in like geology, gemology, might have a very different one. So I'm always very cautious to say, oh, it's called this and it means that. Depends person to person a little bit. It's a strange kind of marketplace, I guess. But yeah, generally rubellite is meant to be pink tourmaline. And it used to be that I could only get specimens like that on occasion, and that would be quite pricey. Lately, they've been finding specimens like this wherever they're mining them. There's a lot of them on the marketplace all of a sudden, so the price has gone way, way down. I think that's the only thing the price has gone down on. I mean, if it's more affordable than eggs, we're in good shape, right? So yeah, it should work the same. Obsidian. Belinda, hey, good to see you. Specifically, what kind of obsidian? I have black obsidian, snowflake obsidian, mahogany obsidian. We can do, or you can let me know like what your healing intention is and I can pick one of them for you. Whatever sounds good, but it's good to see you. You're welcome, Joyce. It's a very cloudy marketplace. Like I'll talk to the jewelers and I'll show them a stone and they're like, that's not what that is. It's like, it's what it's called when people on my side of the industry are buying it and selling it, which can be extremely different than the geology, gemology side. And you might notice that as you're shopping around for things. Different things have different names, but they might be the same thing. Yeah, it's a little convoluted. And if there's ever a question about something like that, let me know. I'm happy to explain. I think we all are a little bit of healing arts nerds here. So I'm happy to nerd out with you all. So we do have the pink tourmaline in there. A rose Tulsi, that's your fave with a squeeze of lemon and sweet. Oh my goodness, Sasha, absolutely. Yeah, I love Tulsi Rose. This is the same brand. I love the Tulsi Ashwagandha. It's so lovely and calming. But this one is the Tulsi. I think it's called Immune Active. That's not why I'm taking or drinking it. It's got like cinnamon and clove and ginger. So it's got all those good warming winter spices that my digestive constitution needs, and it tastes really good. And Tulsi is great for everybody. Yes, Angela, and welcome in. I do have some amethyst. And yeah, Joyce, you've noticed. And mahogany obsidian. Okay, and let's see what else we have. Good to see you, Grace. Letting go of heavy stuff, studying, and peace. Love it. Letting go of heavy stuff, studying, and peace. Okay. Gotcha. So you said diabetes, neuropathy, arthritis, and spinal pain. You got it. Pink tourmaline has an affinity for spinal injuries and spine stuff too, but there's some other good ones. Serpentine, Amazonite. Hey, Aphrodite C. Peace and letting go, independence, attracting what you need. Absolutely. Oh, hi. Welcome in, Linda. So many good new people. Welcome in. I'm glad you're all saying hi. We're friendly. Okay, so I'm going to dive in, add some more crystals in. So Grace had a request for letting go of the heavy stuff. One of my favorite stones for letting go of heavy stuff is malachite. And this is another one that looks very different depending on if it's polished or not. This one has, lately folks have been talking about how incredibly toxic it is and don't touch it, wash your hands. Never put crystals in your water and drink it. Just don't. Like, that's not what they're for. But there is copper in it, absolutely. In fact, malachite is mined near copper. Copper at high doses can be somewhat toxic, but remember, your water pipes are made out of them. It's not the end of the world. Now, some water pipes are made out of lead too, especially here in Philly. It's old, and that's not ideal. Lead is very toxic. Copper, small amounts. I mean, we're still learning, but touching it is not a thing. Don't necessarily, like I said, put it in water and drink out of it if you're concerned about it, but totally okay to hold malachite. Malachite helps us to move through some really difficult stuff, especially when it's hard for our heart to let go of something. This is to really move through those really heavy transformations and supporting the emotions to let go and embrace what's really better for you. So let's bring in that malachite. It's a really potent healing stone. We also have for study, I'm going to bring in two. Oh, by the way, before we move on from malachite, this is what malachite looks like when it is not tumbled, when it's raw. Whoop. And we've worked with this here before, and I just thought since we were talking about crystals, you might enjoy that. Okay. For study, I have two great crystals. One is labradorite. This is fantastic for study, remembering different things, but also in a way understanding them on a deeper level. This helps with detailed attention, finding errors, and also seeing patterns. So that's how it can help us to study. It helps us to see how things interrelate with one another. It can also calm disputes and help us with better sleep and allows us to get some joy in our times of travel. And tiger eye. This is very protective. Helps with big picture thinking. Seeing all the different pieces that relate to a larger subject matter. So whether you're brainstorming or planning something on a big scale, or learning about it and want to see how everything plays a role, sometimes studying can feel like you're just memorizing lots of different pieces, and then it's like, how do they all connect to each other? When we can see how they all relate to one another, it's a lot easier to remember and truly understand what we're studying. This can also help with protection against things like envy and jealousy and really low vibe stuff, including like the deeper jealousy, whether we're jealous of someone else or someone else is jealous of us. It's great for that big picture thinking and strength and balance for things like entrepreneurship, starting out on your own, and even like detective and sleuthing work. So we're going to bring that in. Oh, absolutely, Chris. We've got the Mahogany Obsidian as requested. This helps with releasing perfectionism and the feeling that we need to be perfect, and basically that we need to be validated by the output and the work that we do, and being attached to the worship of others at times. Not even so much worship, but even just basically feeling invalid without someone else saying, hey, you've done an excellent job, especially when people are not inclined to say those things. This is really good for folks who maybe were browbeaten a little bit when they were younger or at any point in their life. This can be helpful for things like releasing anger, resentment, need for approval. Meeting goals, it can be really helpful for that, as well as strengthening vitality. It also allows us to let go of the idea that we have to do what we feel obligated to do. It allows us to let go of those obligations and more easily move into alignment with what we really want to do, what's important to us, not the others around us. So I absolutely love it for that. Meeting goals and letting go of perfectionism. So let's bring that in. This is a stone that, like all obsidian, it is a volcanic glass, which is super interesting. We've also got, we've got some good requests today. Amazonite is another one that's great for spinal care. It's also great for self-respect, especially for those of us who are the caregivers. If your phone rings when stuff's hitting the fan, if you're the one that's closest to the people that need the help all the time, this is a stone for you. It helps us to remember that we are just as valid and precious as everyone that we rally around, and that we absolutely need and deserve the same kind of tender, loving care that everyone else around us gets from us. This helps with, in general, being a healer, but without running on empty, running on empty of yourself. This can also be really helpful for calming, as well as the spine and spinal nerves. So anything from spinal stenosis, which we have as a request today, to things like sciatica. So anything in between there. And this is Amazonite. Amazonite can be like this light blue. It can be like a darker greenish blue with white stripes. It can be all of the above. And serpentine is helpful for diabetes as well as hypoglycemia. It's another one that's great for muscle weakness, as well as calcium deficiency, magnesium deficiency. That's stuff that I struggle with, and part of why I work with it. It's also thought to be helpful for things like dementia. So this is serpentine. There we go. Heal anything that needs healing. Reiki knows where to go. It absolutely does, Linda. Absolutely. reduction of anxiety. I've got a perfect stone for that. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And feel free to like make special requests, Patty. It's good to see you. Really good to see you. The last stone, sorry. Well, let's see. This was Mahogany Obsidian. This is Labradorite. Tiger Eye. Amazonite. And Serpentine. There we go. Awesome. So let's see, we've got some good requests there too. The kittens are doing well. I've got one sleeping at my feet right now. Let's go ahead with that request for help with anxiety. One of my favorite anxiety stones is green calcite. It's helpful for the actual anxiety of it, but it also helps to calm and reassure. And it can also take when we're anxious or stressed out or worried, it has a tendency to settle into our body, and everyone metabolizes that a little differently. But I find that when we get really tense around, when we're filled with anxiety, this is a stone that helps us release that body tension that can come from it. So it can bring a lot of physical comfort. I'm shedding here. Let's go. Awesome. Actually, let's do... Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Can be really great too for the physical heart in general. So I hope that that helps. We've also got some release any blockages you have in your sacral, solar, and throat. Yeah, those are so linked, aren't they? Open when interacting with others. Activate any gifts that you have to help others and help yourself. Absolutely. Mochi or boji balls. I actually don't have any mochi, and I saw somebody requested that. I'm super sorry. I don't have boji either. Boji stones, some people find them very grounding and some people find them very activating. Boji stones oftentimes have like a masculine, feminine, like they come in pairs. But yeah, that's what I know of them. They can kind of help the flow of energy because it's almost like one's positive, one's negative, or one is masculine, the other feminine, or yin and yang, for example. For that, I would bring in some rhodonite, which is always a good stone to have. Rhodonite is very helpful for balancing yin and yang energies. Additionally, for grounding, we can bring in some hematite and or red jasper. But I don't work with those two very much. Yeah. Rhodonite can be very helpful with balancing the yin and the yang. And also pink tourmaline can be really helpful with masculine, feminine type stuff, and even like hormones on both, like puberty and things like that. So that can help. But this is also great for breakups and grieving love lost, whether it's a breakup or someone passing on. This is like an unrequited love type stone. It's also really great for anyone who's sort of bouncing back from emotional abuse, whether it was a long time ago or very recently. It can be very helpful. It's thought to help with allergies, autoimmune stuff, lungs. Yeah. So for that kind of yin and yang balance. I'll bring in rhodonite. Attracting what you need, absolutely. Let's see. Let's bring in Herkimer for that. You're wearing rhodonite with moldavite and it's your favorite. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, moldavite is exceptional, but not super appropriate for here just because it's so intense. Some folks really vibe with it, and some folks it's just like way too much. So for like a community setting, it's not ideal, but for an individual working with it, it can be really, really powerful. Like the strongest stone that I use here is sapphire for the most part. But yeah, moldavite can be really intense. So Herkimer, if you're looking to manifest what you need, and this is also supportive of Greg and Susan, Herkimer helps us not just with, okay, universe, bring me this, like the secret kind of way, like I demand this Lamborghini or what have you. This is more like, bring me what I need, bring me what's in alignment with my highest good, and have that, what I'm asking for, be in alignment with the highest good of everyone and everything else that this request touches. It's a very holistic kind of mentality for manifesting or asking the universe for something. It also aids in hearing the divine. So if spirit wants to be like, psst, it's right over there, you're more likely to hear it. Can help with balancing discordant energies. So if you have any environments that you go into or groups of people you work with where it feels almost like people are just not quite getting along, this can be helpful. It also aids in metabolism and just general balance and being in the present moment, which is super helpful no matter where you're at. Let's go ahead and do this. So that's Herkimer diamond. And I hope that that helps. Hematite ring. Let's see. Rutilated quartz for amplification, absolutely. And I saw rose quartz and amethyst. So let me get a couple of things. Okay. So amethyst, rose quartz, rutilated. Okay, so rutilated quartz. I also want to bring this. I know I haven't seen Korakar pop in, but Korakar is here nonetheless in spirit, whose stepfather is struggling with colon cancer. Rutilated quartz definitely helps with amplification, but also focus. It helps to focus the healing energy to exactly where it needs to go, regardless of whatever kind of healing you're working with, whether it's modern, whether it's one of the older, more ancient techniques, if it's something like holistic or whatever it might be. This helps bring whatever the healing is right to where it needs to go. It also helps balance the mind and body and can help energize us. So if we're bouncing back from being sick or injured, or if we want to keep from being run down, rutilated can be very, very helpful. Rose quartz, I feel, helps not only just that it's in like the pink, loving, high vibrational stone, it's a very consistent high vibration. So when we work with rose quartz, it makes letting go a lot easier. A lot of times when we're letting go of something, it's hard to let go because we're afraid that something else worse is going to jump in its place. This reminds us that there is something better that we can expect to be there when we let go. So rose quartz here. Let's put them out here. And amethyst. Whoop. Amethyst is superb for self-improvement, but also not being quite so rough on yourself when you're making those changes. Like when we see that, wow, here's something I want to change within myself, we can get really down on ourselves. This is a stone that says, it's okay. You're going to make the change now. You can only go forward, and good on you for making that change. It's not an easy thing to do because of that, it's very much aligned with things like recovery. You'll often see amethyst recommended for things like for a gift for someone who might be in like 12-step or other kind of recovery. But yeah, it also helps with bringing you into spirituality or opening up to new ways of experiencing spirituality. So that's amethyst. And yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this group is uncanny with its tendency to seek similar things. Patty is spot on with that. That absolutely happens all the time. We find often that we're working with very similar themes, even if the expression and the way it's showing up in our lives is vastly different. Hematite is very, very grounding. This is one that's been used in healing as far back as written history goes in so many different cultures. It's got a high iron content, so hema is blood. It's often aligned, it's thought to help clear energy that circulates through the body, and in a lot of parts of the world that was seen as like the blood was like a manifestation of that. So this is thought to clear the blood, but really the energy of the blood. It also helps us connect to the earth and let go of the energy that no longer serves, and allows us to feel a little bit more connected with how we take our spiritual path and connect it to the earth. It's thought to like help give us very life-sustaining energy. So this is hematite. How late for a jaw infection? You got it. Yeah, I was thinking of, and forgiveness. We can definitely do a stone for that. Howlite's good for joints too. And I did see that. Howlite for the emotional, mental side of things is anger, resentment, to some extent frustration. Anger and resentment they're usually meant to help us feel uncomfortable enough to make a change. If we don't, it tends to force our hand by being a very ungrounding emotion. It can kind of just pop up out of nowhere, as so many of us know. And same thing with resentment. It can kind of seethe and undermine things where we don't realize it. When it comes to the physical body, this is thought to help the bones with absorbing the nutrients that they need. It's thought to help the joints. It's thought to be connected with teeth, bones, and hair. So definitely helpful for all of the things you mentioned. It's also great for completing studies. So this is definitely supportive of grace. It's got a very stabilizing kind of presence. Go. Yeah, howlite is a great one for really difficult emotions and processing anger and resentment. Especially when we feel like, I feel angry and resentful, but I don't feel like I'm entitled to those feelings. So we try to just push it down. It helps us process those. For forgiveness, aquamarine can be very helpful. It also helps deflect pettiness, and this is also good for teeth and gums, is aquamarine, and all body fluids too. But this is one that helps with forgiving self as well as forgiving others. And it's thought to help prevent connection with or engagement with folks who might be kind of always aggrieved or always angry, like people who are, their default mode is to be angry and upset. This can be, I like to think of it as the anti-Karen stone. Not Karen as an individual, Karen as the meme name Karen. So yeah, so we'll bring this in. So that's aquamarine. There we go. It's a good one for may justice prevail, if that's your intention. That's a good one. So when folks say, what should I bring to a courthouse or something along those lines, I'm like, aquamarine, may justice prevail. Oh, awesome, Susan. Let's see. Bloodstone, Unakite, Sodalite. Chrysocolla, leopard skin. Yeah, I find that a lot of what I'm requesting, you all are requesting too. Let's see. Okay. And Chris. So we have Amazonite out. Kundalini Awakening, Finding Soulmate, Intuition. So we've got Rose Quartz out. Carnelian I was going to bring in for someone else too. Someone had said how you work with other people, the connections to other folks. That's a great one for Carnelian. And also for the solar plex, or the sacral chakra and the solar plexus. This is a good one for both. And I feel like there is a connection between this and the throat chakra. So the sacral chakra is sexuality, sexual function and dysfunction, and fertility on the most. Those are the most obvious ones. And those are the ones people usually think of when they think of Carnelian. But the sacral chakra relates to how we relate to each other. It's great for groups of people, whether or not romance is involved, like workplace environments, family environments, say roommates, housing arrangements, things like that. It's also fantastic for things like cold and allergies, healing wounds, and requesting a spiritually significant relationship as well. So carnelian, very helpful for the sacral chakra. Also for creativity, which is a big part of the sacral chakra too. Creativity kind of starts and is housed in the sacral, but it's expressed in the throat. So this is a big part of that. So let's go ahead and we'll put this, put this here. And we've got rutilated Herkimer, Quantum Quattro. I don't have that one, unfortunately. The one that I added for grief. Rhodonite can be helpful for grief. This is one that helps with what we grieve, especially like romantic relationships or soulmate relationships when we have grief there, whether it's grieving the end of a relationship or the loss of the person. I'm also going to bring in some jet to help with that. Jet is superb for healing grief, and also to bring it in for Patty. Okay, great. Thank you, Linda. Okay, so this is jet, which is wood that's been fossilized through heavy, high heat, like very sudden, intense heat, usually a volcano. Usually petrified wood is a living tree that died and turned to stone over a long period of time. And it looks like a tree, except it's a rock. This is like, is that obsidian? Is it onyx? Like, what is it? And it actually is volcanically fossilized wood. This is exceptional for grief, any type of grief, anything that we're grieving, but especially grieving a person or loss of a relationship too, but especially loss of a person. It helps us to be present in that big shift and change while also respecting what we need to process. So it helps us to be within that grief, but also not overwhelmed by it and not numb to it, so that we can kind of move through it. Loss of a person more than a relationship, then jet is definitely a good one for you. Let's put that on the rose quartz because I feel like that can help. Leopard skin jasper can definitely help with attracting a spiritually aligned relationship as well. It's great for any kind of animal healing, anything impacting the skin. Also for parasites and things, but also coordination, things like vertigo, or if you just don't have a lot of coordination. animal healing guides, if you're looking to connect with your animal guides, these are very, very helpful. Yeah, a lot of folks in here are dealing with grief. Lots of love to you. You're always welcome here. And thank you for, as always, the people in the chat. You all are amazing. Thank you for helping co-create this beautiful space. I couldn't do it without all of you. It doesn't work that way. So that's leopard skin jasper. Chrysocolla helps us with making the decisions that are in alignment with our highest good and our soul's purpose. It also helps encourage new forms of creativity. So this is where it can help support the throat chakra to an extent. We will have some other stones for throat chakra too. And it can help with following your spiritual purpose. If you're struggling with like, how do I follow it? Or I'm nervous to follow it. Chrysocolla can help. Chrysocolla is also mined very close to copper. So you'll notice there's some similarity between it and malachite. So this is Chrysocolla. Let's do... There we go. For... Oh yeah, well, you're welcome here all the time. Bloodstone, which also goes by heliotrope, is sort of the emotional stuff hits the fan stone. It's deeply supportive and healing of the heart, but it also has a lot of root chakra energy. So when we have those big emotional hits that just shake our whole life down to the core, like this is the stone. It helps with emotional stamina. It also helps to relieve self-doubt. It can lift despair, and it can help to quiet your mind if it's a bit racy. So this is, again, bloodstone or heliotrope. And Sodalite is another stone that can be really helpful for the throat. That's expression in all its forms. From like the most mundane speaking of, like, say you're at a work conference or something, that can help with that. It can also help with just coming to terms with things, especially things that are changing in terms of time, whether it's aging, whether it's just accepting that where we are in life is different than where it used to be. It helps to ground impulses. It helps with homesickness. And it can also be, it has a lot of connection to menopause too. So Sodalite, but excellent for the throat chakra, helps empower us to speak and speak clearly, especially when we have a fear of speaking. Unakite is fantastic for anything having to do with women's health, women's cycles of life, whether it has to do with onset of menses all the way through menopause, prenatal, postnatal, during pregnancy, during delivery, thought to support a good marriage, but also fluids in the body and metabolism. This is one that often is suggested around quitting smoking. What is that one called? Bloodstone or heliotrope was the one that I just did, which is the green one. This one is Unakite. Yeah. Oh, and Sodalite. Sodalite I just did. So that's Sodalite. Bloodstone was the small green one. This is Unakite. Hey, Korakar. Good to see you. Thanks for the reminder of all the things. So let's put some Unakite here. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, this stone is Jet, Jet. thanks, Joyce. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself. And I know that Chris had some other requests. Blue Carolynite, Aragonite, Blue Caribbean Calcite, Sapphire, Peridot, we have Rutilated, Aqua Aura, we have Hematite, and we'll do Ametrine. Sapphire is a very intense stone of intuition, psychic connection, and even mediumship. This helps to strongly connect us with our spirit guides and helpers to bring through those messages. Also really helpful for almost translating any kind of spiritual messages so that someone else can hear them clearly. So if you're reading tarot cards or channeling for someone else, this helps you put those things that you're seeing and experiencing into words that are meaningful and understandable to the other person. Let's see. Let's put these here. This is a stone that can be somewhat ungrounding, as I mentioned before. So if you're new to doing energy work kind of stuff, you're not sure what grounding is about, I would look into that first. But I'm not going to gatekeep, work with the stones that you feel inclined to work with. Blue kyanite is another stone that can help us to understand the spiritual messages that are coming in, whether it's your dreams, readings, what have you. It also helps with being proud of yourself in not an ungrounded way where it's like, I'm proud of all the things I have. It's more like, I am proud of who I fundamentally am. It really helps alleviate quite a bit of shame in doing so. This is also one that is thought to be helpful for things like stroke and brain injury that are impacting speech and mobility. So that's blue kyanite. Aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite helps to balance our uppermost energy centers with the lowermost energy centers. And in so doing, allows our Kundalini energy, which is our own individual energy that lays coiled at the base of the spine. We could spend way more than an hour talking about that in and of itself. But this is aligned, the blue in this is aligned with the soul star chakra, which is envisioning our soul's potential, and it's always getting upgraded as we make decisions, as other people are too. And the brown in here is aligned with the root chakra and the earth star chakra, and that's how we take what we're envisioning and actually put it into action in our actions, thoughts, deeds, the causes we take up, things like that. So this is very balancing in envisioning the future, making it physically happen, and opening up the energy centers in between. And that's aragonite and Caribbean blue calcite together. There's a lot of this being mined right now, and a lot of it will be not so much that you can see through it like this, where it looks almost like ocean glass. Some of it is very much opaque. There we go. Iolite can be very helpful for seeing spiritually. So if you do any kind of intuitive work, or even in your dreams, if you tend to vision, this can make it a lot more clear and support that. It's also really helpful for sleep disturbances. It's thought to help weight loss, and it's great for money management. So that is iolite. Where shall we place you? Let's see. Let's put iolite here and here. Aragonite and Caribbean blue calcite. I have a couple that are like not on the website just yet, and I'm looking for more. So I think Chris, I have some for you, and I'll be in touch ASAP. And let me see what else I can get. But yeah, I have a couple. I don't have them on the website. If you do want some, email me. Danielle at learnreikiphiladelphia.com. Those of you who did order crystals, thank you so much. They will be in the mail either tomorrow or Monday, I promise. And thank you so much for your purchases. I love your support. Peridot is great for breaking bad habits and cycles that are just not serving you. If you find that like, wow, I keep doing this and it's not in my highest good, this is helpful for breaking that up. It's also great for supporting friendships and good relationships that help to support the parts of you that are evolving into newer, better cycles. So if you find that as you evolve personally, certain folks are sort of falling away, this helps you find and even strengthen connections with anyone around you who is on the better side of that for you, better reflects who you are now. It's also helpful for things like jealousy and anger, as well as it's thought to help with things like IBS and anything with digestion. So that's Peridot. 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 There we go. Aqua Aura is excellent for supporting folks like me who are struggling with things like depression or seasonal affective disorder. I've found this to be a wonderful complement in addition to the other things I do, like antidepressants, meditation, all of the things. Nothing is a replacement for anything. All of these are meant to support you where you're at right now and help you get to where you need to go. Aqua Aura is a man-altered stone. This is clear quartz that actually has a coating on it, and this coating was created through a man-made process using gold. So we've become quite fond of it here. Okay, cool. And I'll see what else I can get for it too, like if I can get any more specimens. That's one that a lot of my connections are in the fine jewelry world, and I get like what is cast off from that industry, which is actually where all crystals that you see for healing arts kind of come from. But that's one that isn't used in that quite as much, so I'm working on it. We also have, yes, and Happy Lunar New Year. Good to see you, Vincent. IBS, absolutely. Peridot is helpful for IBS. Anything having to do with bowels, Crohn's, and even like acid tummy. And let's see what else we have for IBS. There's a couple of good ones. Mookaite can be very helpful with calming digestion. It's also good for accepting change and making decisions. If you're ever like, okay, I know things need to change, but once I start actually making the decisions that I know I need to make, that makes it real and that makes it difficult and I don't want to make the decision. If you're in that kind of a place, Mookaite can be really helpful too. It also goes by Australia Jasper. But yeah, it's great for digestive calm. Let's bring in some more of it because I feel like it can be helpful. These are also examples of Mookaite. And this is an example of Mookaite. It can come in quite a few different colors, like a lot of Jaspers. So let's put some more of it down here. And let's see. Vincent, spiritual forces and channeling, definitely the sapphire. Return of Jet absolutely helps with that too. Your mom with prosperity, I put some pyrite in there thinking of her. And for your stepdad, I brought in, you weren't here, but I mentioned that for rutilated quartz. Also, let's see. Zest for life, let's bring in some emerald. This can help heal the skin and the tissue, as well as bronchitis, anything having to do with the upper respiratory system. From a cold to upper respiratory infection to anything there. It's also really helpful for bringing back confidence to anyone who's been bullied on appearance or weight, as well as, and this is the most important one for our request today is passion for life, passion for your work, your career, and anytime that you feel like you just can't plug into that passion, emerald can be really helpful. Red tiger eye, you got it. So I'm going to put some emerald here. Put that near the aragonite. And just as a reminder, today is Friday, so I will be back at 8 p.m. East Coast US time. I do 2 streams on Friday. Let's see, we also have red tiger eye. Red tiger eye is highly protective, whether it's bullying, shaming, gaslighting, all the way up to really nasty spiritual workings. Red tiger eye can be so helpful. It also is thought to help with manifesting money, especially in a hurry. So we'll bring this in. But very, very highly protective. So let's go ahead and put that here. We'll put that right by sapphire. Or yeah, right by the sapphire. Cool. And hematite with sapphire too. Let's see. I'll move these a little closer to the sapphire too. Go. For zest for life and just bringing in happiness in general, let's bring in some yellow calcite. This is the joy stone, and I saw the request earlier that was throat, sacral, and solar plexus. This is a great solar plexus stone. Yellow calcite helps to find the joy in who we are. This is bringing ourselves forward and saying, I'm proud of who I am, and I want to bring that forward to contribute to society. It's like where the sacral is, where how we connect to community and how we relate to the world around us. The solar plexus is our center of self. This is our motivations, our drive forward. Who are we? This helps us to feel a lot more joy in who we are and wanting to share it from a very healthy place. It brings a lot of happiness and zest into it. So this is very complementary for a lot of the stones here, including the emerald. Okay, so I think we are good. So next is the fun part. I'm going to, before I briefly explain what Reiki is and get into the healing, I am going to suggest a couple of stones that might add some really beautiful... What size is your wooden circle? That's a good question. I think it's about 13 by 8. Yeah, it's, if a piece of paper is 8.5 by 11, here's some labels. Yeah, it's roughly 8.5 by 11. And this is from a craft store. I got this from AC Moore before they closed, but you can find flat wooden planks like this anywhere. eBay has a good selection too, and you can find all different kinds of wood. This is basswood, which is like one of the lower quality woods. It's easier for wood burning. There's not a heavy grain, so it's good for beginners. But you can find like slices of cedar, slices of whatever might be around. So that can be really interesting. But yeah, I love it. Yes, so I'm going to first pick a couple of stones that I think will support all of the healing intentions today. You all will vote on them while I quickly explain what Reiki is, and then we're going to get into the healing. We're already voting. You can already see the theme. Okay, so let me think of what would be some really good complementary stones for us. Okay. So the first one that comes up is, let's see. Good to see you, JS. I'm like, so many things seem good. The first one I'm going to put out there is Moonstone. And the reason I'm going to put this out there is Lunar New Year. Moonstone is very much connected with the moon, the energy of the moon, which embodies like connection to the divine feminine, to spirituality, to the cycles of the earth. It controls the tides, so it's very much linked with the sacred timing, divine timing. It also is thought to be protective of travelers, to bring forward ancient wisdom and support wisdom in general, and knowing when to trust divine timing. So this is very much connected with the moon and even the High Priestess card in the tarot deck. So that's Moonstone. And the other stone, let's see, I'll use my pendulum. I think it's going to be Larimar. So Larimar helps us to connect with our spiritual purpose and be confident with it, to say, yes, this is me, I'm bringing this forward, this is so important. It helps to separate the ego from your spiritual work so that you can really align with your spiritual work and bring it forward. It very much looks like the ocean. This helps you to innovate and be a spiritual pioneer, especially if your spiritual path doesn't look like anyone else's. You're still going to be just as confident to follow through with it. So just in case you are new, you are not limited to just one vote. Hintity hint hint hint. It's okay. It's okay that you're late. But yeah, you can vote more than once. Go ahead and enter them into the chat, the votes, and certainly like the stream if you don't mind. It really helps me out. I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is and what to expect, and then we're going to drop into the healing. So as I mentioned at the top of the stream, my name is Danielle Stimpson. I'm from Learn Reiki Philadelphia. Thank you for being here today. If you want to learn more about me, my online Reiki certification classes, community Discord, social media, or crystal shop, all of it's linked in the description below. And really just being here, thank you so much. I love doing this. So I have been practicing and teaching Usui Reiki teaching it specifically for over 14 years. And the style of Reiki that I work with most is known as Usui Reiki, named for this particular technique's founder, this system's founder, who was Mikao Usui. And this particular method and technique was created in early 1920s Japan. And Mikao Usui had a very diverse and vast amount of studies and understandings of different spiritualities, different viewpoints from all over the world. Especially, he was an esoteric Buddhist. He studied Confucianism, Sugendo, a number of different things. Sugendo is a type of shamanic practice from Japan. But the way that we can understand this concept of just what energy is to look at Shintoism, the indigenous spirituality of Japan. And in this system, it's thought that everything has a soul and everything is interconnected. And in that interconnectedness, there are additional forces at play, one of which is this spiritually guided soul or life energy. And that's what Reiki roughly translates to. Essentially, this force is running through all of us and connecting to everyone, everywhere, all the time. Our body, mind, and spirit are always working with it. And essentially what I'll be doing today is connecting with that energy and directing more of it to you, so your body, mind, and spirit can continue using it to your best, highest good. You can set any intentions that you have for your personal well-being, but essentially this can help you on a physical level, You may feel some physical changes. You may feel some emotions moving through you, whether you're releasing or some come up. You may notice a shift in your mental space. You might be able to maybe think some things through that you haven't been able to reflect on fully recently. You may also get some intuition and some spiritual connection. You may fall asleep and have a really great nap. That's pretty darn common. Whatever it happens to be for you, enjoy it. Simply take a deep breath and let the energy flow. The mind, body, spirit will absolutely apply this energy within you to the best, highest good of what your needs are in this moment, as it does all the time. When we drink water, our body knows exactly what to do with it, to the point where we can do very little to even change that consciously. So much in that same way, we might not be consciously aware of the Reiki energy flowing through our body in our culture, but that doesn't mean it's not there. So all you need to do is just be. My recommendation is to just be as physically comfortable as you can get. Sitting up, lying down, move around all you need to. You don't have to sit perfectly still or remain in one position during the session. You can just enjoy whatever comes up. I generally suggest that you close your eyes if you can, and you can just allow your mind to sort of go. You don't have to focus on anything. You don't have to keep your mind silent. You can just be. At the end of the 25-minute session, you'll hear my voice come in, and I will invite you to take a deep breath and come back. I will reopen the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, or hold the space for you to share any experiences that you feel inclined to share, and then we'll call it a day from there. If you are watching this in the future, hello from the past, the Reiki healing that flows through all of us, it doesn't matter where you are in relation to me, whether you are kilometers or even oceans away, or if you are in the future. It doesn't matter where you are in terms of time. So simply being open to this energy will allow you to access it. So anytime, for those of you who are here live, know that if I'm not live and you need some healing, go ahead to that past live stream playlist and just watch any of the past live streams. I edit the thumbnail to be a picture of the grid, so you can just look for a grid that resonates with you, and you can either listen to the whole awesome crystal grid stuff at the beginning or skip right to the end, whatever feels better for you in that moment. During the session, I will turn the lights down. You'll notice that they'll move through slowly through several different colors. At no point will they flash or strobe, and the music will be just divine and lovely and relaxing. You can learn more about our musical creator at the bottom of the description and check out her YouTube so you can listen to her music during your day if you find it helpful. So thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a privilege. If you are watching this in the future, or if you think of a question after we end, go ahead and type it into the comments. I'm more than happy to help. And yeah, let's dive right into the healing. Ooh, that looks even prettier. So, moonstone, moonstone, moonstone. This is the first time that we actually have a definitive one or the other. So let's do both. Let's do both anyway. So I'm going to put this right here because there's room for it there. Gonna put Larimar in the middle, moonstone, moonstone, and let's also bring in there's another piece of moonstone. I'm also going to bring in rainbow moonstone, which is actually white labradorite. It goes by again with like, what is it really and what is it as a trade name? A fine jeweler might not call this rainbow moonstone. They might call it white labradorite, but it is here. Hang on a sec. Base and crystals. Think that we are frozen. Hang on a sec. Bear with me, a little bit of a technical difficulty. Let's see. Just got to fix the camera input. This happened once before. There we go. So here's what it looks like when we have Larimar, Moonstone, Moonstone. Oh, you did see me move. Okay. Okay, it was, there we go. This is Rainbow Moonstone. So Rainbow Moonstone, as I was saying, with the differences in fine jewelry and not so fine jewelry, and I don't mean that as a judgment. It's just different art forms, different styles. This is more like white labradorite. Labradorite Moonstone and Rainbow Moonstone are all very similar. They're all really different types of the same stone. Okay. Yeah, the grid cam was not moving. My face cam was moving fine, but the grid cam wasn't. But now both work for sure. Thank you for that. Yeah. So, technical glitches. Thank goodness. Thank you to all of the beautiful gaming YouTubers that have how-tos on how to use things like OBS, because I would not have been able to do this without them. So, everybody go ahead, get nice and cozy. We are definitely getting a late start today. Totally okay. We're going to go for 25 minutes, so we're going to go till approximately 5:45. So just get cozy, chill out, and I will see you all in 25 minutes. I invite you to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly allow yourself to come back to your body. Move your fingers and toes. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It's an honor and a privilege to share this healing with all of you. And if you have anything to ask or share, the chat is open. You're so welcome, JS. It's good to see you. As a reminder, I will absolutely be back at 8 p.m. this evening for some more healing and crystals. And of course, Sunday. For those of you who are students of mine, previous or current, Sunday morning there is a Reiki share. You can learn more on the events page of the website or in the last email I sent. Thank you for subscribing, Rosemary. Welcome. And yeah, as a reminder to everyone, feel free to go ahead and subscribe if you want to make sure that you don't miss an opportunity to come back and join. And of course, on your way out, if you wouldn't mind liking the stream, that super helps me out and I appreciate it. But most importantly of all, being here helps more than anything. So thank you for being here. You're so welcome. You all are so, so welcome. Yep, I'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. East Coast US time and Sunday 8 p.m. East Coast US time. There's info about my classes and the community Discord and social media on my website, learnreikiphiladelphia.com. And I don't know about you, but that was a beautiful, nice, deep session. Yeah, Maury, you're welcome. One of the factors at play here that I don't get a chance to mention as often as I would like is the concept of communal chi. The more of us come together with the same or similar intention, the greater that healing potential is magnified for everyone. So simply being here helps everyone else. And at the same time, as we build the crystal grid together, you're definitely helping build a beautiful space for the energy. So thank you, all those of you who were here and helped build the grid with me. Happy Lunar New Year before some of you start having a beautiful rest of your day. And I know some of you are in different parts of the world and it's already late in the evening for you. I hope you have a beautiful evening. And I'm going to go ahead and if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end this stream here. And again, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a privilege. I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all that good YouTuber stuff. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And for those of you still setting intentions for the new year, because when is it a bad time to set intentions? I hope that you have a beautiful 2023. Happy New Year. And I hope to see you again soon. And take care and bye for now.